A new report is out from the Congressional Budget Office. It predicts the U.S. deficit is set to hit $897 billion this year. That's up $118 billion over last year's deficit. The U.S. Treasury says it's borrowing $1 trillion to make the payments. The report also predicts a slowing economy with growth at 2.3%, down from 3.1% last year. A former economic advisor to President Trump tells CBN News Americans believe lawmakers are to blame.
American people know that Washington is extremely wasteful. Shame on both parties for not buckling down, starting to look at the budget and say, these are the things we need, these are the essential functions of government, and these are the things that are wasteful or not providing the kinds of services that the American people need.
Well, Dan Celia is the president of Financial Issues Stewardship Ministry. He joins us now for more. Dan, thanks for being with us.
Oh, great to be here, John. Thanks.
Dan, we're talking about almost $900 billion in deficits. What does a ballooning deficit mean for the average American?
Oh, it means a lot of things. It means probably some economic times ahead that could be very difficult. So that it certainly means that. It will likely mean higher taxes down the road. And I'm not just talking about federal taxes. I mean, that might equate to a higher gasoline tax, higher state tax in some way, shape, or form. But somehow, as the deficit balloons, revenues have to increase. It's just the way it is. And yes, you can increase revenues through certain growth in the economy. But the fact of the matter is, us, future generations as well, if that debt continues to balloon, it is going to mean higher taxes.
Dan, it's almost hard to believe we're nearly at the end of the month of January, the first month of 2019. What's your sense overall? How is the economy in 2019 doing?
Well, I think so far it's been doing okay under a lot of circumstances, unusual circumstances, John. You know, we've got unprecedented political concerns just in the environment in which we live from a political perspective. We are seeing things, just the move. When you think about the move that we've made in attitude towards socialism and things that are hard to even imagine for America, yet it seems to be a movement almost going towards that. That brings uncertainty into economies and creates some worries and concerns. The political environment of hatred that we have seen, it's unbelievable. All of that breeds an uncertainty like none other because we've never experienced it before. We've never had a political party that may be filled with such hatred that it clouds every decision, their ability to put in place fiscal policy that's good for America and good for the American people. It clouds everything. They begin to look at things with blinders on. From a market perspective, from an economic perspective, that breeds even more uncertainty. Markets, economies, we don't like uncertainty. They don't like uncertainty. It's very hard to try to put any kind of analytics together and analysis of economy when you have uncertainties that are new uncertainties. Right. And that's where we are right now.
And certainly the government shutdown did not help with that uncertainty.
No, that is for sure.
Last question for you. China's economy appears to be slowing. What kind of implications or what kind of effect does that have on the economy here in the United States?
Well, from my perspective, John, I don't think it has a huge impact on the United States. It does have an impact on the Eurozone, and that then will trickle down to the United States. Remember, the Eurozone, and we don't think of this, we think of America being the largest economy in the world, which it is as a country, China being number 2, Japan being number 3. But the Eurozone is the largest economy in the world by far when you look at the entire zone. That Eurozone is very, very important to China, and it's also important to the Eurozone as far as exports out of Euro and other goods and services and so on and so forth. So my biggest concern about what is happening to China and the impact on the Eurozone is the banking sector, the financial sector. and what that is going to do. And we haven't really placed enough emphasis on the financial sector like we should. It is not healthy. It is not good. The financial sector in and of itself has a lot of debt. A lot of this debt is what we would call leveraged debt. But what it is leveraged on is really just paper and air and things that don't have any real sense of value. And they're the kinds of things that I'm most concerned about. So we don't want to see China continuing to slow, not to mention the human rights issues that'll come out of that.
Well, Dan, we're going to have to leave it right there. Dan Celia with Financial Issues Stewardship Ministries, thanks so much for your time, and we look forward to having you back again.
Thank you, John.